Alright, this is FinderX with another video walkthrough. This time it's with a game that I recently completed development for. You might remember that I also created a game previously called Onero, for which I did a video walkthrough. Here we're doing the same deal, a video walkthrough for Terrier. And we'll just start now. Alright, so the game is pretty simple. You just use the arrow keys to get around, and that's about all you need. Everything's in black and white. There's also a color version of the game, but this is more similar to the old Macintosh aesthetics that I was trying to go for. Anyway, the goal of the game is to go around and basically solve puzzles in an attempt to find your owner. You play as a dog, a terrier, as the name of the game implies. And with that, let's get to it. So we'll start by just saving the game, and then we'll head on south, and we see that there's a person here. And so basically the aim of the game is, as you travel, you're going to find these people. They're all going to want you to do something for them, which they'll allude to vaguely, and then you sort of have to help them in some way. So let's just take a look around up here. So you'll probably notice this if you play, but if you walk in front of these eyeballs, they'll shoot you with a beam and you die. So press R to restart. But you can get around them by using blocks to block the path, and you can run them over with the blocks also. There's a key here, so let's just push some blocks out of the way. Get that. And I think there's another key down here. But to get this key, we need to lure this guy down here. He follows basically wherever you're at on the screen, and so you can sort of trap him in between blocks and things. And here we'll get the key. And there you can see that he's susceptible to the laser beam. We'll head up north. And no, we're going to want to go around actually. So like, they can't go through the walls and they just sort of follow you, and they're not very smart, so you can make them run into each other like that, and that's how you can get past them most of the time. Here we have 2 locked doors and a heart. Save the game. And then we sort of have to make those guys run into each other again. And then we'll head south and east and save. And if we go down here, that little sound means that we solved the puzzle for this one person, and then that's good. The world is made up of 7 continents, like the real one, and there are 7 inhabitants you gotta help, so we just helped one of them. Might as well save again. There's also a few puzzles that we have to solve to get some other supplementary items. Here's an example of a regular block puzzle. You push these blocks onto these little white squares, and then that will open up the gate that's blocking off that item, like so. So now I'll just grab that. It's good. And we're not supposed to be down here yet. I'll head south, because we've seen pretty much everything on this continent. Yeah, we've seen everything here, so we'll head south to the next one. And watch out for those laser beams, and we'll save. So now here we will see a couple new things. There are these sand pits where if you stand too slowly on one of them, then you'll end up dying. And there's a few more puzzles. Hold on a second. So for this one, we want to make those guys run into each other. And you can sort of look, if you look closely, that the regular sand and then the trap sand are slightly different. So that whole corridor is filled with the trap sand. What we want to do is push this in and then run right through. Then we can push that out of the way, and we ended up getting a gold bar of some sort. I'll do that later. So there's an item that we probably want. There's another fellow. So he wants that coffee probably. Here's another gold bar and a ball puzzle. Unlike the blocks, the balls roll, so you can't control them as well. So you have to push them around sort of like this. And like so. And then we get the gold bar. Great. Won't worry about that just yet. Here's another puzzle. There are sand traps here, so we'll have to move quickly. This is a safe zone. And then that's a safe zone. The rest is all traps. Whoops. Goodness. Okay, well, let's try that again. Whoops. It's a bit speedy, so I'll try slowing down a little. There we are. So now we have these 3 gold. We can open that gate. And we have the coffee now. And we'll give it to him. And he's satisfied. And we'll save. Now there were 2 other rooms that we touched on with some items in them. And as you may have guessed, they pertain to the previous item we got, which was a sail. So what we'll do is we'll use this cube as a stopper for these balls so that we can put them on the little squares in order to unlock the gate like we did before. There we are. So now we've got a mast. And we just need one last piece, and that is the hull, and that makes a ship, which we'll need to get to the other continents. So here we're going to need to set this up in a particular way, and the reason for that is the space just to the right of the Terrier are sand traps, so you have to roll these balls in first and then push the squares in, or else you'll be stuck basically. So what we'll want to do is queue these up like so. Push the squares off to the side. Roll those on through. And then push those in really quickly. That unlocks the door. And we got the hull, and as you can see in the inventory in the upper left hand corner, it's become a ship. So we can use that to travel to the other continents, like I said. That's the southern port. There's also one in the previous continent, and you can really complete these in any order that you like, generally speaking. I'm just sort of going with the most straightforward route. And let's save. There's a new enemy type. And we're going to just crush it. And there's a new person here. So we'll just earmark them for later. Now here's a spot where you can't get past this little robot guy, basically. And there aren't any blocks or anything to crush him with or anything to trap him with. So the way to actually get past this one is you gotta feel around for this secret passage, basically. So it's a little unintuitive, but there's nothing else on the screen that can help you, so you just have to intuit it. Here, we're pinned down. Whoops. Okay, hold on a sec. Here what we want to do is sort of go back and forth and over like that. And then we can't go to the east anymore without running into those eyes. So we'll go down and just push that in place so we can walk over here. And then smash that guy so we don't have to worry about him. And then block him like so. And then here, this is a pretty simple little obstacle. You can even mess up a few times like I did just now and get through it fine. And then save. We'll worry about this puzzle on the way back. And here we've got sort of an action phase here. Smash these eyeballs, move the block out of the way. Use this block to smash these two guys. And this third guy. And then what we want to do is move this ball into position right here. And the reason is so we can smash that guy and this guy, and then keep this to get rid of that last fella. So we'll go up, down, and then hide behind this little cusp here. And then lure him over and smash him like that. Now we've got the clock, which is probably helpful. And while we're at it, we'll solve this puzzle. And the order goes something like this. Whoops, okay. So using some of the balls to push the other ones into the correct position. So the order in which you push these matters. There we go. And we've got a wing. So I'm sure you can guess what the next thing we're going to be assembling is. And then we'll just go through there. Now for this part, we will form this little bridge in reverse. And then push that down so we can smash that guy. Don't have to worry about him. And then take the secret passage around. And I'm going to just save really quick in case the unthinkable happens. Pop over to him. And we took care of another inhabitant here. So we're just going around helping people with their problems on the overall journey to find this dog's way back home. Now you'll remember that I said there was a second port up to the north in the previous continent, which we'll now be going to. So we'll just pop up here and hit the save point real quick. Great. And just stay in line with that block and you can smash all the guys together. Here's the eastern port. And the ship is kind of slow, but you know, It's the only way to get across, really, and it's a pretty long distance. So now this phase, this next set of phases, there are these creatures like that one there, and they move faster than you, so you have to skirt around. I don't think I'll be fast enough. You have to skirt around really quickly, like that, to get to the next screen, and so you don't get hit by them. Here there's just a dragon and some eyeballs. There's another one of those guys. They're sort of like those other robots from earlier, except that they are much faster. Here's a puzzle which we'll get back to. And then here. Okay, so this is about the only place we can go since we got routed by those robots up there. So now we just got to push this around and down and over. And take care of that. And you'll see this guy, and we got an item out of it, the sword. There's a runway, which we'll have to earmark later. Smash that guy and just walk right on past. And we'll save. You'll notice that the mechanical thing here started running away. Now that we got the sword, we can just smash them like that directly. So you don't have to push a block into them or anything. You just need to get the sword and then proceed to smoke them out, basically. And you notice there's a little door here blocking some item that's shaped like one of them. So once those are all gone, that one ran off screen. Hold on a second. So once those 5 are all gone, we should see that open up. Oops, I was just adjusting my headphones there. And that one ran off screen as well. Get to see a little glimpse of the other areas that we'll be getting into. Okay, so I think that was all of them. And it was. So grab the shield and save. And then we'll pop down and over again. So he's satisfied. That's great. We're on our way. So that was 4 taken care of. Now there's another block puzzle, and how we'll take care of that is like so. Hold on a second. I'm trying to remember how to do this one actually. Yeah, there we go. So we arrange all these like so. Kick them all to the left and push this one down. There we are. We got the other wing. So we've got 2 wings so far. Now we'll head north. Watch out for that. And then you can either make these guys run into this tree, or you can shoot. Just make them run into that. And save. Once you save there, they won't reappear, so you don't have to deal with that every time. Then there's these fellas. You can just, whoops. Just smash them against each other. And there's a guy up there. And we can see that there's an item in there. That whole inner area is filled with sand traps. So we'll have to be careful. First we uncork each end. And then we do that. So don't forget to push the square out of the way. And then you gotta just get out. Like so. And we'll want to save because that's kind of hard to pull off consistently, at least for me. Save it. And then we have this other item puzzle. We push these balls up. The trees have sand traps all around them, so try to stay about 2 squares away. And push that up, over, down, over, and down. And then that takes care of them. So we formed an axe. And we'll just save again. And then shoot. Cut across, cut down this tree, and we get a fruit. Give him the fruit. And he's okay with it. Oh, yeah, there was this puzzle too for another plane part. And I believe we want to do something like this. Push this around. And then down, over, down. Use that ball to go up here, and then over. But before we do that, I think we want to push this one down to the bottom. You can see that there are sand pits in front of that, so you got to be careful where you step. And then we push this one along the same route as before, but we end up prematurely and just push it over. Then we've got the tail of the plane. Yeah, okay. And then this cuts across here. And so this leads to the same area. It all interconnects, as you can see. We also see a new enemy that shoots little tracking fireball things. We'll skip over that and just save. And then I'll real quick jump up here, run past that guy to find the person on this continent. And to get out of here, you can just use this to get around there. So here, for this piece, we can find the item right over here, but it's blocked by these 3 doors, and each door corresponds to an item that was stolen. So, nope, we want to go down here and take care of this one first. So push these 2 down. Whoops, I did that the wrong way. Push these 2 down, then over, up, right, down, push that one up, this one up, right, push this one right, and then this up, and then we can push those like that, take care of him, and we got a gem out of it. That screen's a bit hazardous, so we'll just skip over it. We'll take care of that one later. Let's do this one. And that's just yeah. Okay, so let's scoot past that dragon. Push that there. Smash that eyeball, smash that guy. And then you'll notice that you can't smash that eyeball because he's sitting on a square, and that'll open up the panels on the right-hand side of the screen, so you can't get past that part. So what we're going to want to do is lead that fellow over here, and then scoot up, and then over. Grab the necklace, and then we can just use this block to get back. We can smash that guy, it doesn't matter. But you can see that the laser beams would have cut off our advance. Save. Okay, for this part, we'll need to push these balls in specific places. So that one goes straight down, this one goes there, that one goes there, that one, whoops. Those are a little hard to predict, so I might die a couple times trying to solve this one. Okay, so that takes care of the lower side. Now we just got to take care of the upper side. And this one goes straight across. So does that one. And this one goes there. So now we don't have to worry about them. We can get the last piece. So now all three of those can unlock fine, and we got the mask. I'll also go ahead and save it. And we can go ahead and solve this last plane-related puzzle. So we push this up here. Two of the balls will end up going in the same general spot. This one we'll put up here. And then we can move that down. We can then use that like so. This ball doesn't do anything right there, so we'll just stash it. And then this goes there. And this last one we can just handle in isolation. It takes a fair bit of pushing, but we'll get through that, no problem. Alright, so now we have the propeller, and that makes the whole plane. And then we have one last bit of business on this continent, and that is to, whoops, close one, give this to the judge over there. And then we will push that down there. And just proceed on our merry way. Now we have to head back to the continent with the night on it in order to get to the runway, which will take us to the final continent. Save. Whoops. Well, that's a good thing I saved. I didn't let go of the key there. Okay, so now we go down, right, and there. So the plane is a lot faster than the ship. It's got a little further to go, but there we have it. And we can see the last item right in front of us, but we can't get at it just yet. This area has a eyeball that blocks the way, so you use that torch to basically take care of them. That was a bit fast, but I'll show you again. That thing runs at you. If you go up here, it'll get stuck in that little corner, and then you can trap them like so. There we are. Then we have a little puzzle. You can see there are sand traps surrounding those squares, so we gotta line these up in a particular way, like that, and then there. Got the key. On this next screen, there's a bunch of those robot guys, but they can be taken out by laser beams or by rolling stones at them. Then what we want to do is we have to get past those laser eyes there, so what we need to do is sort of walk this ball up by pushing this around over and on top a couple of times. Like so. And then once it gets to the right height, we can just push that over. No problem. Grab the key. Whoops. Talk to this guy. He's pretty belligerent. Save. And then we'll go back to get that item. It's a little easier to get after you've got both keys. Put the blocks out like that. Watch out for that guy. And then be sure to put that block in front of the eyeball so it doesn't kill you. That's very important. Grab the keys, might as well save. And then the eyeball guys aren't there anymore, just so that you don't have to deal with those puzzles again on the flip side, because you already solved them once. And then we give him the glasses, go around and save. And then this area was boarded up before. It becomes unboarded once you take care of all 7 continents. And so from here we can proceed. So now we're in this little room, and there's a rocket ship, so we'll enter it. And go through to space, the moon in specific. And so now we're seeing a few cutscenes, just detailing the aftermath of the game. And you can see all the people that you interacted with before, and then some that you haven't seen but are alluded to. And there we have the end screen. So we made it to the end. We got him back to his owner. And that's the whole game. It's fairly short if you know what you're doing, but if you're trying to solve the puzzles from scratch, it's a bit longer. Also, when you beat the game, you unlock an extra mode where you can play as this guy. The gameplay is all the same, it's just an aesthetic change. But anyway, you can find the game at the links in the description for this video. And I hope you enjoyed watching the video walkthrough. We'll see if we'll come up with some other ones later on. So see you then.